I've been wanting to practice this actually, so for real. So I'm pretty excited to learn this one.
The only reason we are doing solo drills is because I have a theory about something. You have enough experience in jiu-jitsu that this will be applicable to you, but I want you to think about each one of these movements that you're doing in the scale that you are trying to do some form of skill acquisition.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of, but I'll get it. And if I don't, I'll ask.
So the first thing I want you to do, we'll just call it the technical stand.
Yep.
Okay? So let's start with that motion. I want you to do 5 of whatever motion this is.
Okay.
So we're going to do technical stand.
Right, it's here.
No.
Nah.
Technical stand is to make space, right? Not to take it away.
That's right. Right.
Did you feel powerful doing that?
I felt better doing that.
You gotta do it 5 times. How often do you find yourself with an opponent over there that your feet are behind you?
What do you mean? Like, well,
Do what you're doing.
so you said,
If the opponent is there,
yeah,
how often do you find your feet like this?
like this.
S mounted. I'll set it S mounted for the ease of conversation. But you are sitting with one foot back and behind your hip.
I mean, I think it just depends on how we're moving, right?
So you sit like this. Go first.
No, you're saying like from the seated position, because I'm gonna sit down right here, and then right here, and
That would be, I would say, a more active version of a technical stand. No, it's fine. Can you go back to supine for me? I want you to walk without using your hands to that side. Does that make sense?
does it matter how I walk?
I do not care.
I'm trying to remember how we did it when we were.
Oftentimes people will rock their hip over and then they'll basically lift up.
Yeah, and do the.
Some form of fashion of this, I exaggerated the motion. Most people don't come up that high.
Yeah. I was thinking of what we were doing last time.
The force something?
Yeah, the fork thing.
Try not to use your feet in this way. I want you to imagine your knees and elbows being touched.
Like together. Yeah. Yeah.
And I want you to move
Sideways.
to the other sideways. There we go. You see it? It's about the hip switch.
Yeah.
You know how to do a compass?
Mm-mm.
Thread the needle for me. You know how to do that?
No. Okay. Foot.
you to take your hip from facing where your dick is to the sky.
Yep.
Put your dick to the ground. Make sense?
Yeah.
So a compass drill is very similar, right? But we'll do compass being the aspect of a sit out. So if I was here and I decided to sit out,
Yep.
I want you to do that one first. I want you to thread the needle and then do a sit out and then repeat it.
Okay.
Yeah? And you see it's circular, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like you could do it right there. Thread the needle. Come up on your front leg. Nope. Post on one of your legs. Now go underneath the other.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
So I thread the needle, right?
Yep.
And then I do a sit out. I thread the needle. And then I do a sit out.
But you're following the same posted leg.
You can. It doesn't, so let's say I want to go the other way, right? So I thread the needle, right? I do the sit out. I thread the needle. I do the sit out.
Okay. Here. And then you said it doesn't matter if I
Nope.
switch.
Underneath. Underneath. So thread the needle.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then
Yep. Now, whatever foot you choose, thread the needle again.
yeah, this foot.
Maybe. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Post any foot. Yeah.
I'm just saying, is it fine then switching feet midway? Like, you thread the needle, then you sit out with a different, okay. Because that's what I was.
Yeah. Cheers.
But this foot needs to be forward when I sit out, right?
Maybe.
Because I feel like I'm
Not necessarily.
not in a great spot. Because I know, like, when I'm sitting out, I'm gaining that little bit of distance so that I can turn.
If you're sitting out, typically you're trying to move yourself to the outside of a human being.
Yeah.
If you're on the outside of a human being, your foot being upwards or outwards matters less.
Okay.
There's no weight on top of you
Right.
or in front of you. Right? So, if my foot is still facing like this, so I do my sit out, right? I'm here and I go, right? The person should be over here. So
Yeah.
if my foot's like this, it allows me to drive. If my foot's like this, it allows me to turn, right? If my foot is like this, it allows me to what? Right? So I get here, right? Get low,
Okay.
attacking a knee, right?
Kind of just like.
Depends what your goal is. Depends on how you put your secondary leg.
Okay.
Your primary leg is the one doing the initial motion,
Mhm.
right? because that motion was required for the prerequisites to happen,
Yeah.
right? So if I'm here and I'm moving this leg becomes the important factor, right? This is a follow me,
Okay.
right? If I make this my primary concern before this is done,
Yeah.
you get stuck underneath something. Does that make sense?
Doesn't matter then.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter then. Oh, it really doesn't then, huh? Because most of the time when I'm
No.
turning like that anyway.
I'm oftentimes using it to hook someone's back leg.
The S mount?
Yeah. So when I sit
Like
out,
here. Oh, I see what you're saying.
when I sit out, I'm here, cutting across
Yeah. Okay.
to break people down.
You're bringing it. Why?
Sometimes.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna be
Correct.
sprawled off the
They'll
sit
be
out 'cause
turtled in
they're
front
because
of
they're
me most of the
chasing.
time.
Because they're
Yes.
chasing. So they're gonna be turtled. I see what you're saying. Oh, then yeah, I like this better
Maybe.
for where I'm
Okay,
just saying
this
where I
depends.
because this is where my leg naturally
Depends
comes
what your
to.
goals. And if that's how it is for you, then that's not a negative.
Okay. All right.
Does that make sense?
Tracking.
Perfect. What's your triangle?
And hold it up in the air, or does it
Just capture it.
armbar? Like it doesn't matter. I'm just imagining that there's somebody in front to do the armbar
Yep.
from like a mount, maybe,
No.
or just like.
From guard. Because like you're doing the triangle from guard, do the same thing with an armbar.
Oh, you're saying okay. I got you. Here. I know technically at the end I'm supposed to be hipping. Yeah, I was gonna say this one confuses me.
You see how you would do a triangle like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Like that.
You brought your feet together, not your knees.
Yeah.
This, I don't
Yeah.
really care, that was just a note for me.
But I didn't bring the leg wider. I'm cutting an angle, so I'm not cutting into the leg. I feel like in my mind. Okay.
Why don't you do S mounts? Just walking back and forth.
Oh.
Build up height. Then swap them. Ready?
Oh. Gotcha.
Weird, right?
The one side is weird. The first side, easy. This side, weird. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Can you swap them in front? Just curious.
Probably not.
I can't. That's why I asked.
Probably not.
There are people who can.
Yeah, no, I don't. In my mind, I don't see that working out.
Well,
You're
I mean,
saying,
you
like-
do it. So like, if
But you're saying from the top?
kind of, right?
Here?
So let's say I'm coming up,
Yeah.
right? And I want to travel sideways. Boom.
It's like the kickball change in my mind. It doesn't work. This hand here. And I'm coming up. But I want to travel sideways. See, I don't know that I'm gonna go anywhere.
So we're here. You're gonna come up, bringing this foot in front. Sit down. See, I'm now S mounted.
Yes.
Right. So I'm gonna come up. Ready? This is actually often how you get into an S mount. Most people don't realize this is the actual way you travel into an S mount. Most people don't travel into an S mount backwards.
Feels weird.
I understand. That's why I don't think S mounts are super prevalent. Because it's a weird motion. People don't train it enough for it to be functionally comfortable for them.
But that's mount. This was just a warm up for us. Like just.
You say that, but how often do you get into it in a normal roll?
No, I understand like
Mhm.
the principle of like it's used a lot because I will sit in this a lot, especially when you're going into S mount stuff.
So, but how often can you get to this in an actual roll? Mounted on a person.
Not a lot. Unless I'm going for something up high. Really, I don't.
So if we wanted to S
Technically,
mount
though,
a
it's like a
human,
body. Yeah,
we have to go forward.
right.
Because if we try to go backwards and S mount a human, we went into
Yeah.
control.
That makes sense.
So I think the reason why people suck at S mounts most of the time is because we practice them wrong most of the time to get into them.
Yeah.
Most people do not realize that you must build height in a forward pressure formation type of thing for you to actually get into an S mount.
That's how I mean, this is originally how I learned it. Was like you're sitting here, and here,
And then fall to the other side.
and here, and here.
I would argue that that's correct.
The worst part about my nerve has not been my back. Well, that's a lie. That was pretty terrible. It's my arm because it runs all the way down,
Mm-hmm.
and so it goes numb, like all over my finger. Yeah.
You ready for this one? Okay. I want you to pummel with your legs.
Like ball. I don't know. I'm gonna need to see this one. And
Egg beaters.
yeah. Wacky leg gif. I know there's a hitch there.
Start going side to side, like this. No, you're taking your feet, point them to the side. Then I want you to point them to the other side. This is a type of pummeling. This is how you establish knee shielding,
Okay.
right? Now, once you're at that point, I want you to be able to take your feet, and I want you to be able to do this. Make a circle. Now, once you're able to make the circle, I want you to pick a hip. while you make that circle. And then on the other side, fake a hip while you make a circle. Remember, you're typically always circling to the inside positioning, not circling to the outside. There are very rare times where you're going to circle to the outside.
Because you're just flipping over the leg. Flipping over the leg.
The times that you would be circling to the outside, you're trying to basically lift people's heads up, or like some type of variation of lift, where you're pushing someone rotationally, like this. Now, butterfly hooks is not necessarily rotationally, but you can make a butterfly hook in this fashion, to where you sweep people to the side.
Yeah.
Right? That is where the instance that this would be done to the outside versus to the inside.
Where you're regarding or
Yep,
your
regarding. That's where we're primarily getting this function. And this would also be used in things like an omoplata, etc.
Yeah.
Or a go-go.
No more go-go.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here. But am I doing it with? I'm never really doing it with both though, right?
You can.
I'm just saying, like.
Why on earth would I pummel with both legs?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not focused on doing that right now. I'm doing one, and then.
Remember, this is all technically about skill acquisition.
Right.
Right.
For the different pieces of the game. I'm on my dumb side. Don't watch. Oh yeah.
Tracking?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, your leg pummeling sucks.
Yeah, I know. Even in the rolls, though, regarding is something that I
want you to do a sit-up.
need a lot of work in. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. Like this from the man.
No. No.
Huh? Not like this? With the leg form? Same.
Not same.
Like here.
Wrong.
Oh. Here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Remember, we are fighting a human being.
yep.
How often am I going to do this? If I'm sitting like this, the human should be over here, or over here, not any other form of fashion.
Yeah.
Right? Because if a human's linear to me, and I'm sitting like this, and I'm gonna come up to you. No, I'm not. So you're gonna get fucked up.
Right.
Right? If there's a human being in front of me and they back up, or I need to close that distance,
Right.
you can't. Exactly. Mm-hmm. I want you to think that you're triangling somebody on the way down. You see how this is that figure 4 in your leg?
Yeah.
Now you're just putting your foot to the floor and being able to come up on it. You're literally just rolling up on your shit. Swap hands. to drive and pull yourself forward. Alright, so if I'm looking at you, right, and I'm gonna stand up. You know how we do the technical stand up going backwards,
Yeah.
right? Technical stand up going backwards is like this, right? We basically go knee and then we go to our feet, right? We can skip steps by staying off of our knee, right? But essentially we do the same fashion, right? Where I go to stand up,
Yeah.
right? But now we're coming to pull ourselves forward. You see how I can do it with just my heel?
Yeah. Like that. These mounts are cheaty because they give you extra grip.
Mm-hmm. I want you to do a bridge.
Like, this is a bridge,
Mm-hmm.
like this.
No? Show me what you think. Human language is silly. Yep. I want you to do the bridge now, and come into a turtle position. Big bridge, look over your shoulder.
Huh?
Big bridge first, go over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Is that 5? Looks like 5 to me.
There are probably 5 in there.
Okay. So, now that you have done that, I want you to get into the turtle position, and I want you to be able to stand up. Yep,
What are you talking about?
that was it.
Okay.
The premise needs to be
Yeah.
clear. Now, I want you to do the same thing, but then I want you to go over your front head.
So what?
Not standing.
To go over my front hip, you said?
Head.
My front hip.
What we're gonna do is we're going to bridge, right? We're going to turtle, right? And then we are going to Granby. But we're not gonna do a full Granby where we would go to the side, right? We're just going to roll, right? So we're gonna bridge, right? Coming over, like so. And gain a regard. Yep. Now come over here and do it. go over your shoulders.
Yeah. Just from seated?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little.
Does that feel an effective way of doing it?
No, but rolling on my upper area doesn't feel like.
Thanks. Okay. So, solo movements, right? They're great to learn how to move your body, right? They're not good to learn how to fight.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, we use these sometimes as kind of prerequisites for people for knowledge, right? A human has to know how to move in our sport in ways that are appropriate for what we do, right? If I was like, oh, get out of a headlock and you just drop to the floor, you will probably get out of a headlock because I'm probably going to let go of your limp body because it could break your neck. Well, that's kind of actually what happens, right? So people will like, oh, get out. Well, how do I move? And they just drop, and you're like, I'm holding your neck, right?
Yeah.
Right. So inappropriate movement for what we do, if that makes sense, right? Where if they did something in form of like sitting out, but not sitting out because that level change would be wrong.
Bad for the neck. Yeah.
Exactly. But a type of sit out where I would come horizontally pushing through someone's elbow,
Yeah.
right, would be great. You would not be getting choked from a guillotine or anything of that nature. You'd make a lot of space for your neck. You could shoot around to the back, right?
Yeah.
That is an appropriate movement for jiu-jitsu, right? When we do solo drills, we have nothing to base it off of whether or not it is an appropriate movement other than the fact someone's telling you,
Right.
right? A human being dictates what happens in our interactions most of the time when we're fighting, right? So, like threading the needle. Why is threading the needle important? Well, in limited space, right, where there's a human being in front of me being able to hold him, change the angle and what the direction of my hips tells me that I can now end up on the top position. Because I might not be able to use this leg to do this. And I'd have to use this leg to do that.
Yeah.
And that's where threading the needle becomes important. These movements, right, by themselves, they look silly and they look foolish, in my personal opinion, right? When you put another human being in interaction with them, that is when they should be at their finest, right? If they're not, you're kind of wasting your solo drill.
It's kind of like a Mr. Miyagi thing, right? Wax on, wax off. It doesn't matter. Like, it looks silly until you're using it against someone else. Right? Like, they're there, they look silly on their own, but you put a person in front of them, and then all of a sudden it makes sense. You know?
Kind of, yeah. They should make sense, right? Solo drilling is much like learning the alphabet, right? Becomes less and less important the more you've already done the alphabet, right? Because like, do you still currently draw your alphabet? No, you don't. Not unless you're teaching your child.
That's true.
Right? You might when you teach your child. But that's the only time you do it, because you can write. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Solo drilling is important, right? And I think in the acquisition of motion, right? Not necessarily the acquisition of fighting in jiu-jitsu, the acquisition of motion. That's the skill that you're building when you're doing solo drills. You have to teach your body how to move. Once your body knows how to move, the solo drilling becomes less important unless you do not have a partner to participate with.
Yeah.
Right? We don't warm up in here with solo drills.
Right.
Because I don't view them as valuable in comparison to what you could be doing with a human.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like today, do you feel like you became a better fighter?
I think I learned a good amount about some movements.
You learned how to move.
Movements.
Yeah, right?
Not better at.
They would not make you any
Grappling.
better at grappling. And isn't that crazy?
But doesn't a better understanding of how to move your body translate into better grappling?
You would think. And
Right.
the answer is kind of. Right? Because the better understanding how to move your body is only half of it.
Oh, yeah, it makes
because like you're 100% right. It is. Learning how to know how to move yourself, right, is 100% valuable, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't translate if that's the only thing you know.
Yeah.
Because you have to move another human.
Yeah,
and
no,
a
it
human
doesn't-
gets a vote.
Yeah.
Right? So like knowing better movement and how to move, very valuable.
Yeah.
Right? There's people out there, they do like what we call primal movements, right? And they're all movement based. Not a lot of those dudes can't fight.
Yeah.
If it was transferable skill, that person should be able to fight.
Right.
Right? Just by the statement of I know how to move my body. so
Moving is
therefore-
moving and fighting is fighting.
Yeah, I do think they're a different
They're-
set of skills,
yeah.
right? And I know that that's kind of like nuancy to have a premise about.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm saying this is because I think that solo drills are valuable beginning tools,
Huh.
right? For people to learn movement, but until someone can take the movement of that solo drill and apply it in application and with some form of resistance,
Yeah.
it's not a real skill acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn how to move, but you don't know how. You're like learning how to craft out the shape of an A, right? But you don't know how to write.
Yeah.
In the slightest.
Yeah.
And until you learn how to write, I think solo drills are great. If you learn how to write, I think solo drills lose their value.
You think they lose their value in what way?
Okay. Solo drilling, right? This is different, in my personal opinion, than what I would consider shadow grappling, right?
Right.
I can shadow grapple anytime, anywhere, right? And I don't even necessarily have to do the motions, I can just be thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
It's a form of shadow grappling, it's just the thought process.
Okay.
So I actually think shadow grappling is more valuable than solo drilling after a certain point.
Okay.
Because solo drilling, me doing more arm bars, right, is going to have how much return versus me learning how to do something else, or to focus my time frame on, let's say, the value of certain grips, right? An interesting grip that like a lot of people don't like understand. We always talk about when we do like the knee to elbow escape coming over the foot.
Yeah.
Well, you can come under it too,
Mm-hmm.
right? So can I steal you? Mount, right? So like for me, this has less mount. So for me, the value, right, of doing this is less than this,
Okay.
right? That slight distinction deserves more of my time,
Yeah.
right, than repeatedly doing an arm bar, right? Not to say that my arm bar might not get better or sharpened,
Right.
but what should dedicate more of my time to? Understanding a grip and its function and fashion, right? And then obviously steps and tiers, right? We should never lose or degrade in certain skills that we already possess, but our understanding should keep growing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, if you are using solo drill as a crutch to basically stay in a plateau, most people don't understand why they do something. This is where you should not be doing solo drilling and doing some technical understanding.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Perfect.
So, not to disvalue solo drilling.
Yeah.
I think at every level, some form of solo drilling is important. Some form. But the majority of solo drilling, I think, stops at a certain point and should.
I see what you're saying.
Perfect. Now that my pontification's over,